Our internet is okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Right.
you are
We are
live.
live. We are live. Good day, everyone. I want to welcome you to another. Yes, we are live. We are live. We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube. So I want to welcome everybody to ALOUD with Iyke. Today we are jumping into our conversation, and we've been advertising, and you know the title, how to sell yourself to yourself. It's not a common topic where people talk about. You can talk about how to sell your product, how to market your product, how to sell your house, how to sell whatever. But today it's not about any other product, but you are the product. So how to sell yourself to yourself. And we have a wonderful person that is going to talk with us today. He is an international speaker. He is a real estate specialist. He is into sales and marketing. He trains companies on sales, on selling. And today he's running his own business for over 5 years and is going to do justice to our topic today. So please, can I make a big, big welcome to my friend, my new friend, all the way from New Zealand, 12 hours, 12 hours ahead of West African time. Please join me as I make welcome Mr. Giyora, all the way from New Zealand. Okay, I clap. I normally clap. Wow. So you
I,
welcome.
I
Welcome.
feel as if this is the
I
best
welcome you
introduction.
specially. And how is New Zealand? I was so surprised that today is 28 for for us in West Africa is 28. For you in New Zealand. Oh, that's good. Thanks. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the compliment. Thanks. I appreciate you. Now, you guys are 12 hours ahead of us in West Africa. Today is 28 in West Africa, Nigeria. Why you are on the 29th? 29th, it's past 8. So nice to have this divide and we can connect and have this conversation. So I want to really welcome you to this exciting conversation. So let's rush into what we have for today. But firstly, let me ask you, how is New Zealand? How are you guys doing? How are you coping with the global pandemic and everything over there?
Well, I think we're very, very lucky with the fact that we are an island that is surrounded by
I guess you can
water
hear me.
far away.
How is New Zealand? How is your country doing?
Yeah. So
I hope you've not lost me. Okay.
as I said, I think we're very, very lucky that we are in an island at the end of the world, and we are able to close our borders, and nobody is able to come in. And
Yeah,
through that, we were able
that's cool. That's cool.
to
So without wasting time, how to sell yourself to yourself?
all right, brilliant. So we are. We
Okay.
have a little bit of a delay between me speaking and you hearing me, so that is going to make things a little bit interesting, and uh, we'll figure it out as we go in terms of if there are any questions or if anything needs to be discussed. We'll figure out a way. Maybe
Okay. I know we are lost in ourselves somehow, but all this thing will still move on. I got you that since you are far, far way at the end of the earth, and you're able to, yeah, 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 that's good.
so my recommendation would be that when you finish your question, or when you finish the introduction, just maybe put your
We will,
hand up,
we will,
and
we
then
will.
I will know that you finished your conversation, and then it's time for me to speak, or else we're going to have to wait
We
for each
will.
other to speak all the time. So let
Will.
me know
Yeah, we
when
will.
you're
So,
finished.
have you started your watch party now? Have you started?
I have not
Okay.
yet.
Straight on, straight on. How do you sell yourself to yourself?
Excellent. So it is time for me to speak right now. So let's get into it. And as I said earlier, it is have been probably one of the most interesting introductions that I have had to speaking for a while. I like the hype that you create, and I want to try and keep it going, keep it happy, keep it moving, and keep things happy. So if there are any questions, if people want to comment anything, just throw it in there. Ike will then let me know that there are some things and people want to discuss things, and I'll cover that. There's a saying in sales, something that I was told when I started selling many years ago, and the saying says that we cannot sell something that we don't believe in. We are unable to sell a product that we don't believe in. And over the last 15 years, I sold real estate for about 11 years, and I have been training salespeople for about 5 years right now. I noticed that this is really true, that we are unable to sell products that we don't believe in. And obviously there are some exceptions to this to this rule, but as a general rule, if we don't believe in what we sell, we will not be able to sell that product to the person. We won't be able to convince the person that is sitting in front of us that that is the best thing for us. In real estate, when we sell real estate, the way of selling real estate is made out of two things. Number one is working with the owners to bring the house to the market. And the second part is finding a buyer and bringing that buyer to that house and helping them buy the house. The second part is a little bit easier because when you have a buyer, then usually they like the house, they will buy the house. But the first part is involved of the salesperson convincing the owners that they are the right person for them, that they are the people who will be able to do the best job for that owner. And that is based on the salesperson ability to, in a way, sell themselves to that owner. And the salesperson ability to sell themselves to that owner is based on that salesperson's ability to sell themselves to themselves. Because if that salesperson doesn't believe that they are the right person and what they're doing is the best for the owners, they won't be able to convince the owners that they are the right person for them. And I'm bringing this up because just like that part of real estate, with everything that we do in our life, if we are unable to sell ourselves to ourselves first, we won't be able to sell ourselves to other people. If we want to get a job and we're unable to sell ourselves to ourselves that we are the best people for the job, the person that interviews us won't believe us. If we want to get a promotion in our job and we don't believe in ourselves, we can't sell ourselves to ourselves, we won't get the promotion. If we want to find a partner and we're not believing in ourselves, we don't have the confidence, we haven't sold ourselves to ourselves, that person won't believe in us as well. And if we start a business or we want to get something, if we cannot convince ourselves that we are the best things, we won't be able to convince the other people as well. When I started training salespeople on sales, helping them improve their business, I became very curious into why is it that some salespeople are able to survive in real estate and other salespeople very quickly disappear. Real estate is an extremely tough industry to survive in. Statistically speaking, about 80% of the people that join the industry will leave it within 1 year. And when I started training salespeople, I became very curious as to why is it that some people have got the ability to keep going and other people don't. And I noticed that it has a lot to do with their ability to sell themselves, to believe in their ability and keep on going. And as I started to look at things, as I started to dig in and try and figure out what is it that they're doing, looking at the salespeople who become successful, looking at the things that I have done, looking at some of my colleagues, I noticed that there are patterns, that there are, even though there are many, many different things that people do on individual level, I've noticed that there are probably 6 things that keep on coming back. 6 things that most salespeople do, that actually most people will do in order to be able to build themselves and create that career and be able to sell themselves to themselves. As I looked at those things, I noticed that they are sitting in really 3 categories. And I then nicknamed it the EAT method, or the EAT categories. And I decided to name it the EAT categories or the EAT method because I realized that whenever I don't believe in myself, when I don't feel comfortable, I want to eat in order to feel better about myself, and I will eat, and once I've eaten something, I feel better about myself. But also that the fact that it stands for the 3 categories. So E stands for external help, A stands for action taking, and the stands for thought changing. So what does it mean? What does it mean external help? What does it mean action taking? What does it mean thought changing? So here are the 6 things that I realized that people do in order to create that belief in themselves, sell themselves to themselves, so they can go out and keep on selling themselves. Number 1 in E, in external help, crucial, super important, having support systems, support people in our lives that help us believe in ourselves, that help us when things go wrong, surrounding ourselves with those support people, people that see the value in us. And we think to ourselves, if they believe in us, we then have something to offer. We believe in ourselves, and it is easier for ourselves to then sell ourselves to ourselves. And let me give you an example. When I started selling real estate in 2005, from a business point of view, it was a silly decision. And I'm saying that because of 4 main reasons. Number 1 is that when I started selling real estate, I didn't really know many people in Auckland. I didn't know many people in New Zealand. Number 2, I have not done any sales at all before in my life. Didn't sell a thing, didn't know how to sell, didn't understand sales, didn't know what to do. Number 3, naturally, I am a very shy and an introverted person, which means that I don't want to talk to people if I don't have to. And the 4th one, which is probably the biggest one, but you have to promise me that you're not going to tell anybody, is that I don't really like
Who
people.
wants?
And I say that I don't really like people,
Wow.
not that I hate people, but that I enjoy my own company. I don't really want to be involved
Okay.
with people if I don't have to. And if in real estate is all about working with people, it's all about being with people. And if you're thinking to yourselves right now, well, why is it then that I got into real estate? Well, it's very simple. My wife recommended to me that I go and do it. So my wife saw something in me that I didn't see. She believed in me. And
Okay.
because of that, I went into real estate. And through her support, her help over the years, and obviously the support of managers, support of other salespeople that I worked with, I was able to create that belief in myself and keep on going. And so having support people in our life is crucial for our ability to sell ourselves, to believe in ourselves, to be able to create that confidence, to help us sell ourselves to ourselves so we can go out and sell ourselves to other people. So look around you, look at the people that you are dealing with. Do you have those people in your life, the support people, the ones that say, hey, we believe in you, you can do that. And the ones that when things fall down around you will go, hey, you've got this, we believe in you, we will help you. And if you do, they will help you sell yourself to yourself so you can go out and sell yourself to other people. Number two in external help is accountability. Finding the people in our life who will keep us accountable to the things that we need to do. Because the things that will help us build ourselves, the things that will help us sell ourselves to ourselves to become better, are the things that we don't necessarily want to do. And if we have somebody keeping us accountable, we will then do the things that we don't necessarily want to do. And through that, we will be able to build confidence in ourselves. If you think about it, if we want to lose weight, and I'm not a person, as you can see, who needs to lose weight, but let's say I wanted, if I had somebody keeping me accountable and making me do things that I don't necessarily want to do, I will lose weight because I would have somebody helping me, pushing me up. And through that, I will be able to believe in myself as things begin to progress. I will see the value and I will keep on going. So having an accountability person, somebody that makes us do the things that we don't necessarily want to do. And through that, we do it. We see that we can do it. We build ourselves and we become better at what we do. It sounds as if we are in a train station right now with all the noise in the background. And so those two things, the external part is about people in our life, people that can help us see our value in ourselves. And through that, we then see the value in ourselves and we can go, right, I believe in myself. I can do this. I have now sold myself to myself. I can go out and sell myself to other people. So external help is super important. As a trainer, as somebody who trains people, I constantly bring that into the field, believing in people, showing them that I believe in them, but also keeping them accountable to the things that they're supposed to do so they actually do it and not run away from the things that they're afraid of doing. So external, two things, support and accountability. The next part with the action. The first one is practicing and planning. One of the reasons that we don't believe in ourselves many times, that we cannot sell ourselves, is that we want to do something, but we don't know how to do it. Because it's something new, we've never done this before, and we go, how do I do it? And practicing and preparing and planning are the things that will help us build that confidence in ourselves. Because if we have a plan, we know where we're going, we go, right, this is what I need to do now. And that will help us become more confident and build our confidence up. And if we practice, we become better at what we do. As we become better at what we do, we are then becoming more confident and go, I can do this. I believe in myself. I've sold myself. So here's an example. When I started selling real estate, I had to go out and knock on doors in order to talk to people and try to convince them to sell their houses. When I went out for the first time, I was petrified. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't really understand how to do it. And I remember I knocked on the first door, and the only thought that I could think of was, I hope nobody's home. And I was useless at it. The first time that I did it, I was really bad. I remember the door opened, the second door that I knocked on, the door opened, and I looked at this woman and I forgot what I was supposed to say. I didn't know, and I mumbled a few things, and she was nice enough to not throw me out of her property, but to say thank you, but not interested. But as I kept on going, as I kept on practicing, I became better at it. And I became so good to the point that I didn't care, that I would know what people were going to say to me before they spoke. So that practice gave me confidence. Through that confidence, I went,
Right.
I'm good. I know what I'm doing. I can do it. Therefore, I'm not afraid. And I would keep on going. So planning gives us the idea or the knowledge of what it is we're supposed to do. And practice builds the confidence that we go, I
Okay.
can do this. And I have now sold myself to myself that I can do it. And the second part in action taking, in the A out of it, is taking a step. The hardest thing in everything that we do is taking the first step forward. And if we don't believe in ourselves, if we don't believe in our abilities, and we don't take the first step, we will never be able to do the things that we want to do. It is just not going to work. So it's really, really important that whenever we want to do something, we go, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't believe in myself, but we go, right, first step. I've taken the first step. Now it is easier for me to keep on going and take step number 2, step number 3, and keep on going, especially if we have the plan. If we think about it, if you think about the things that you have done in your life, the first time you have done anything, if we look at this broadcast that we are doing right now, I am sure that the first time Iyke was going to do something like this, he was petrified. He didn't know what to do. He didn't believe that he can do it. But he said, I can do this. He took a step.
True. True.
He did it for the first time. And then he went, that's right. I can do this. I can
Yeah.
now understand how to do it. And it was easier for him to keep on
Yeah.
going, do number 2, do number 3, number 4, and whatever number 100 million that I am right
Yeah.
now. So just the fact that we took a first step forward
Yeah.
has enabled us to go, we can do this. And I see that Ike is agreeing with me. So take
Yeah.
a step.
Yeah.
And that's
True.
with everything that we do in
True.
our lives. First day at work, first time we want to ask somebody out, first time we start a business. Step number 1, right. Now we move forward. It is easier to keep on going and keep on going because we see that we can do it. We believe in ourselves. We sold ourselves to ourselves, and it is now so much easier. So those 2 steps in action, planning, practicing, and taking a step, doesn't matter what it is, towards our goal, will help us to keep on moving, believe, create that confidence, create that belief in ourselves, and we will be able to keep on going. And now we are shifting from outside stuff and now us taking action to working a little bit on the way that we think. So changing our thoughts, the T in it. The first thing that comes up whenever we want to do something and we don't believe in ourselves is the fear of failure, the what if. I want to start a new business, but what if I fail? I'm going to speak publicly, but what if people laugh at me? I I'm going to start a podcast like Ike, but what if nobody watches it? And what if everything falls apart and I fail? What if, what if, what if? And it's always negative because our brain is programmed to look for the negative to stop us and then keep us safe. But if we understand that our brain is stopping us from believing in ourselves, from selling ourselves with the question, what if, and we look for the negativity, we are then able to change things over and change the what if a little bit. So I was taught long time ago by psychologists that whenever I notice the words what if coming into my mind, I should add a second what if to it. And the second what if should be a positive what if. So if we look at what we're doing right now, I want to start a new podcast, but what if nobody watches it? But what if a lot of people do and they see value in it and it changes their life? Second, what if positive, we focus on the positivity instead of the negativity? I want to start a new business, but what if I fail and lose all my money? But what if I don't, and it is the best thing that I have ever done, and it becomes a successful business, and I become a wealthy and happy person? Second, what if positive, we focus on the positivity. And if we do that, we will realize that we have the negative, we move it aside, and we place in positivity. We then see the positivity, we believe in ourselves, and we are able through this thought to change the way we think and sell ourselves to ourselves so we can keep on going. So think about it next time when you want to do something, when you say, I want to start a new business, or I want to do something, and immediately you think, but what if? And that what if is a negative what if. Throw it away and add a second what if and a positive what if, and focus on that positivity. And that positivity will stick in your head, and you will be able to then go, wow, I can do this, because you focus on the positivity. And the second part in thought changing, and I want
Yeah.
to ask you a question. Think about a time in your life when you wanted to do something, and you went and you told it to your parents, or you told it to your friends, or you told it to somebody, and they told you, you're never going to be able to do it. You're never going to be able to become successful. You will never be able to achieve that. What was the first thought that came into your mind? What was the first thing that happened to you? If you think about it, probably the first thing that happened to you is that you became angry and you thought to yourself, I'll show you. I'm going to do this and I'll show you that you were wrong. That is the first instinct. We went, oh, I'm going to do this. I'll show you. Obviously, if we then don't have the rest of the systems in place and we don't believe in ourselves and we stop ourselves, then we will never achieve it. But the first instinct that comes to our mind when somebody tells us, no, you'll never be able to do that, you will never be able to become successful, you will never be able to achieve it, is for us to go, really? I'll show you. I'll prove to you that you were wrong, and I'm going to do it just to make you angry. And I want you to remember that thought. And whenever you want to do something and your brain, your mind tells you you will fail, you're not going to make it, think about that and get angry at your mind. I'll say, I'll prove to you that you are wrong and I can do this. So we look at our thought, we change the way we think, and we challenge our brain. We go, no, I'll show you I can do this. And this is something that I constantly focus myself to do it. So even right now with my business is a trainer, somebody that trains salespeople, I need to make a lot of phone calls to people that I don't know, what is known as cold calling. I will call it an introductory call, not a cold call. But I need to pick up the phone and go and talk to people that I don't know. And many times I would need to speak to managers or to CEOs. And the first thing that comes to my mind is, oh, they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to hear from me. And I will stop that thought in my head and I'll say, shut up. I'll prove to you that I can do it. I'll show you right now that I am able to do it and that they will talk to me. And I stop the thought, I get angry, I pick up the phone and I make the phone call. And through that, I'm showing to myself that I can do it. And then I am becoming more confident. I sell myself to myself. So with thought changing, the two things that we need to do, stop the negative what if, and the second what if that says it is positive, looking at it, focusing on the positive results, not on the negative. And through that, we become more positive. And the second time is whenever somebody tells us, especially our brain, that little negative person in our brain that says, no, you cannot do it, show them that you can. Get angry at that thought, get angry internally at that person in your head, and prove to them that you can do it, and just do it. Work on those things. If we have all of those things in place, if we have the external help, the support, the accountability, if we have the action taken, the preparing and the taking a step and doing and planning, if we have the changing of the thoughts in the ability to change our thoughts, focus on the positive, and get angry at those that say we cannot do it, especially those in our head, we will be able to change the way that we are, sell ourselves to ourselves, become more confident. And as we become more confident, we believe in us, we believe in our abilities, we believe in who we can become. We become stronger, better people, and we sell ourselves to ourselves, our ability, our, our world changes because of that. Selling ourselves to ourselves is one of the most important things in our life. As I said earlier, as I opened today, and I said, we cannot sell something that we don't believe in. If we don't believe in ourselves,
Right.
if we have not sold ourselves to ourselves, we will never be able to sell ourselves to other people. And then our life will really stay where it is right now. We will not progress, we will not change, we will not become the people that we can become. Each and every one of us inside of us has an incredible ability to do things, to change lives. We all have different talents, but most of us stop us from being able to do things because we don't believe in ourselves, because we have sold ourselves on the fact that we are not good. But we need to sell ourselves on our ability. We need to sell ourselves on our ability to do things, to change things, our ability to be great, to be good at what we do. And if we do that, our life will change. We will become successful, not necessarily about money, not necessarily wealthy, but become successful at what it is that we want to do, at what it is that we want to become. And success is incredible. So, folks, work on those things, work on those 6 things that I have given you today to enable yourselves to be able to sell yourselves to yourselves, believe in who you are, and through that, you will be able to go out, sell yourselves to other people because of your confidence and ability to sell yourselves. And with that, Ike, I have spoken for about 32 minutes right now, and I am happy to answer any questions if you have, or if not, just really thank you for having me in your show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I believe that those that are watching us right now and those that will come back later to watch it, they will be their life will change because it's crucial when it comes to people believing in themselves. I tell you that people would prefer to study a product, they would prefer to study other people than to study themselves. They are ready to sell a company, they are ready to sell their friends, ready to sell the product for their company, but they pay less attention in selling themselves. So,
Mm,
and the keys you mentioned, as by getting support, getting external help, having people in our lives to support us, to tell us that you can do it, is so very much important. And I think that is the role of mentors in our lives. I strongly believe that we need either direct or indirect mentors. Surrounding ourselves with the right people will give us that booster to understand ourselves, to have that self confidence. Because when you you surround yourself with people that talk you down, People that will tell you you can't do it. I failed before, you will fail. Everybody have been trying, they can't, you can't. You understand? So we need to find a way to get the right people around us for us to be able to have that belief in ourselves, because it's so important. Then you also talk about preparation, the planning preparation. Okay, and it's good because when you plan, you practice.
Mm.
I One of my mentors said something. He said, when you learn, learn like a teacher. You learn like a teacher. So he
Mm.
said it's the best form of learning, because as you are learning to teach somebody. So you plan, prepare, and practice. Learn, you prepare, you plan, you practice, on and on. Then the crucial word you talked about, just do it, action.
Mm.
Action. We have a lot of people who have these whole ideas in their mind, who have been thinking, okay, I can do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, but they never moved. Okay, so idea can never move the world. Whatever you have in your mind, no matter how you even believe in yourself, and you don't take that first action, it is zero, it is nothing. So I want to thank you, Giyora. I believe if you have any questions, I would love to brief anybody. If you're out there, you have a question to push to him. We just have some few minutes to go. We'll give him the question. But if not, well, in fact, I am thrilled and I'm excited listening to you today, talking to you from a different, far, New Zealand is so wonderful, so life changing for me. This is the first time I'm hosting somebody far in Zealand. I've had people with 6 hours, 6 hours difference. I've done 4 hours, I've done 1 hour, but not 12. 12 is massive, massive. Thank you for your time. Now, can I ask you, can you do maybe a last one for us? A last one for us. Now, I have a product, okay? I have a product, and I'm going to, because you did it, because you entered the place that you are not in business, you are never used to. You enter the place, and you need to let these people just love you. Okay, because selling yourself is for somebody to love you as a product, that they want to
Mm.
accept whatever you sell it. Now, just give us the analogy. Getting to a place, you want to, maybe you are asking for a job, you need a contract, or you need to sell a product. What are those? You can give us maybe 3 or 4. Those first step I can take. I'm seeing Gira for the first time, and I want you to just believe what I've come to tell you. What are those few steps that I can take to capture your attention, to get you, man? I want to know this guy. I want to have an engagement with him. Can you just give
Mm.
us maybe little steps about it? And I feel it will help somebody out there.
Yeah. So I think that there's probably a few things that we can and should do. So if we look at the things that I said, if we want to sell a product, or we want to sell ourselves in a job interview, one of the crucial things is to prepare, which means that we need to research the company, or we need to research the people that we're going to speak to. And we need to research them because we want to find out things about them that will help us build a connection with them together. If I go into a job interview in a company, but I have not researched the company, I don't know anything about the company, I will walk in and all I will do is I will answer questions about myself. I will be on the defense all the time. Same with the product.
Right.
If I go to sell a product and I didn't research the people, all I will do is I will answer questions about my product, or I will just tell them things. But if we have done research, if we
Research.
have prepared, we can then ask them questions. So with me preparing and learning a little bit about Iyke, I can say, hey, look, Iyke, so in Nigeria right now, the political situation, the minute I've spoken to you about you and have shown some interest in you, now the conversation
Yeah.
changes and
Connection. Right.
we become friends. Or
Connect.
not
Yeah.
necessarily friends, but we are connected
Connected.
together.
Connected. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right. Right.
that research is super important. The first one, the next one is to build or to bring that positive energy with us to the conversation. So if I go to a job interview or to sell a product, and I walk in and I had such a bad day today. I've missed my train or I missed things, and I come in negative. Immediately everything is negative and people
Those
go, I don't
change.
want to deal with it. But if I come in and I say, hey, hi, how are you? I had such a fantastic day. How are things with you? I'm really, really
Right.
excited and I'm thankful for you for being able to meet with me. Then my energy is up immediately and I can see it in the
Right.
screen right now. The minute my energy went up, Ike went up again. He's like, oh, yes. So bringing that
Right.
energy up brings the other person and then we are now in a connection. And the third thing which
Yeah.
I touched on is that we need to know that it's not about us, it's about the other person or the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
person, whether it's applying for a job or selling a product. And because of that, we need to pay attention to them and ask them questions about what it is that they need rather than what is it that we bring and try and sell. So those
True.
are three key things that I think will help everybody, and through that, become better at what they do.
Thank you very much. Just like there's a question you say, how can one deal with negativity in one's environment? Maybe we'll talk about having a support system, having external support. Now, what if you are in a place where the environment, the people around you, they are all negative? How do you deal with that? Is a question.
Change the people, change the environment. Look, if you are surrounded by negative people, they will drag you down. Really, they will. They will not let you fly up because they want to keep you in that same position as them. You have to change the environment. You have to stop listening to them. Um, there's an old, not an old, a very successful sales trainer, an American guy by the name of Tom Hopkins. And he's not the only one, but I listen a lot to him. And he speak about the seeds that we plant in our head. And if we are surrounded by negative people, they will plant seeds in our heads and negativity will grow there. So we have to change the environment. We have to move away from the negative people to positive people. And it's a sacrifice. Sometimes it means that we will be lonely. Sometimes it means that maybe the person that I knew for most of my life and was a friend of mine and was a negative person, I will now need to say, sorry, I need to move on. And they will not like it. But we have to move away from those negative people into the positivity. And through that, we will be in a better position.
Okay, what if you say your work environment? What if it's your company in a place where you have to work with other staff, other maybe your seniors or those you're working with you? So how do you deal with that? If it's a negative environment, do you move away? Do you resign from the job, or what do you do?
It's definitely something that I would say people would need to consider. If you're in a job that you absolutely hate because of the environment, because everything that is happening around you, you're not going to be good at it. You will suffer. It
Okay.
will make your life miserable. Obviously, I'm not saying that's it, quit today, but start to look around. Start to look around to find a better environment. And when you do, move from the negative and into the positive. The other thing to look at is to try and figure out why is everybody negative. Is it, and is there a way that we can somehow work with the people to change the negative environment? One of the things that I did a lot was if I had a manager, when we are employed by people or when we have a manager, we always think that the manager's job is to take care of us, and we always bring negativity to the manager and rather than bringing
Yeah.
positivity. We go to see the manager with our troubles, with our issues, we complain, and it's very negative. And in return, many times the manager will be the negative, bring the negativity back to us. But if we actually show interest in our manager and come in and say, hey, manager, how are you? Or hey, manager, look, you look a little bit sad today, or you look tired today, is everything okay? Once we actually show interest in them and we kind of bring positivity, their attitude will start to change towards us, and hopefully that will change the environment in general. So looking at to see if there are some things that we can change in the way that we act towards people that will bring positivity to them, and usually it will bring positivity back. If it doesn't and everything stays negative, then definitely consider finding another place. So that is something that I would recommend in terms of workplace, changing the environment. Is that helpful, like?
Moving. Okay. Oh, I am sure that answers. Yeah, I believe that answers the question of Fiona. So thank you once again. Thank you, and I would love to have you here again. I would love to have you here again. I hope very soon we'll come back and or maybe we'll do part two, or we'll say something else. So thank you. I want to appreciate you for your time, and those out there, I want to say thank you for tuning in. And I know you've got one or two things to take home. And selling yourself to yourself is as important as that product, in fact, more important than that product you are selling. So if you can get it right, practice what you've heard today. Practice, continue, don't give up. Look for people that can help you, look for mentors in your life, and take action. Action is very, very important. Till I come your way next week, Saturday, my name remains Ike of Webo. Stay blessed and God bless you. Bye bye.